Okay. One thing I'm on our website, which needs updated, but we'll do that later. Um, so this is a partial video explaining our services. I'm going to spend this whole video specifically talking about these services: the existing conditions report, the existing conditions report with site plan, which, by the way, we need to figure out a better name for that. So if you think of something, let me know. And due diligence report. I'm going to talk about those things, and then also, uh, well, I don't have it even listed here. We need to totally redo this page. Um, but then feasibility reporting is another thing I'm going to talk about, and then we'll go through the rest of our services in another video. So, first off, these reports are specific. So, I think people can get confused about what these reports are versus consulting. So these reports are generally specifically for figuring out if someone is able to take a piece of property and do something related to the lot lines, the property tax lots, or development. So to explain that further, if a couple scenarios where this report would come into play is if someone says, I have this property, but the line needs adjusted, and I want to figure out if that's possible. Or if they say, I have this property, it's one tax lot currently, so there's only one buildable lot, it's one tax lot, but I want to know if I can split it into 6 separate tax lots or 4 separate tax lots, or can I split it into 2 separate tax lots? That's what these reports are about. If someone says, I have this property with a residential home on it, and I want to know if I can build a commercial piece of land, if I can change the zoning and make it a commercial piece of land and build a mechanic shop on it. If I have this residential lot and I want to see if I can build a hotel on it. I have this residential lot and I want to see if I can build a multifamily unit housing. Those are the kind of things where this comes into play. One thing specifically, especially for the salesperson, before we ever do any of these reports, we for these prices, we aren't going to do a open-ended. If someone says, hey, I have this piece of property and I want to know everything and anything I can do with it, then we'll say, okay, sorry, that won't be $450. We can give you that report, but that will have to be a full-blown feasibility study, giving you all your options, and that those jobs are upon estimate only. And again, this service page does not do diligence of what we're talking about. It needs updated, but it'll be upon estimate only. Not just if it's above 6 parcels, but also if it's just an open and I just want to know anything I can do with the property. That's going to cost you a little more than $450. We can't just look into everything. It takes way too much time. We can do that, but that'll take too much time. It's upon estimate only. So keep that in mind. But if someone said, what we want to nail them down is like, what do you want to do with the property? Well, I have this residential lot, and what I'd really like to do is build a multifamily building on it with, 30 units. Or I want to take this tax lot and I want to make it 6 tax lots and build houses on the other 6 and sell them off. Or I want to build townhomes on them. Or I want to, get them to say, like, what are you aiming to do? And then based on them narrowing down what they're looking for, as long as it's under 6 parcels worth, like it's not this huge development. If it's a huge development or anything above 6 parcels, it's upon estimate only. We look at the job, figure out what it's going to take, bid it, estimate it, get it signed, and do a job that way, lump sum. But if it's under 6 parcels, we'll keep these prices. One thing I should say, these are cheap prices, and the idea is eye candy. So anyone who's looking, this is the idea behind it. These are easy sells, cheap prices. People want them repetitively. So if we can get them down to where it's copy and paste, we put them out quick. If someone, like for example, we did a report for John Robinson down in Salem, Joshua did. And those people are going to want to split that lot eventually. I'm actually still in contact with them, talking to them about it. Once they go to develop that land, it's our job. We were already there. We already told them it was developable. They bought the land, and when they want it developed, they're going to have us do it. So this is like the eye candy or the Segway job, the cheap trap type job. Keep that in mind. This is the job where we're marketing out and getting people to buy it, because then it allows us to have an open communication with them. We've done a job. They've seen our work. They know our personality. They know how quick we are at communication, and they go, man, these guys really helped me out with this report. I want to hire them to do the whole development, and then we get a really good job out of it doing these reports. So that's the idea behind these reports. And that's kind of the parameters of doing the reports and what they're kind of all about. Now, speaking of them specifically, the existing conditions report, $150, 2 days. This one, we're literally, and if you haven't seen the marketing video, watch that because it explains these three things very well. But the existing conditions report is literally just compiling, the catcher on that is the information when you're talking about, can I build a multifamily unit or can I develop this land? All that information, as you guys know, are on 25 different websites all around the place. You have to navigate the county website or the city website, and they're all different. You have to find the information. Our thing there is we're literally compiling it on a report for them to do their own due diligence. So we're not doing the due diligence. We're just putting all the information on a piece of paper for them, and they can look at it and decide what they think they can do. We're not doing the due diligence when we're doing the existing conditions. We're just putting it all on paper. So to put this into perspective, a job we've done recently, done this report, is this one. This is what this report's going to look like. Okay, it's comprehensive. It looks like it has a lot of information, but we can put these things together quick. The existing conditions report is going to look just like this, but it's going to have at a glance, just a little blurb about it, maybe an overview, and then it's going to have this existing conditions section. And it's not going to have any development details. It's not going to have submission report, financial overview, conclusion. It will have none of that. It'll have some attachments, I suppose. I don't know if there's any. But it'll essentially just be this existing conditions. It'll be showing the subdivision, the tax law ID, the current owners, the elevation, if there's any recent just existing conditions, and I'll go over that specifically when Nathan's going to be doing these for now when he goes to put these together. I'll explain what we're looking to put together, and we're basically just going to give them like a 2-page report that essentially just has this page on it, and give it to them, and they can. This just saves them time going and finding all the information. Now, this next one, existing conditions report with the site plan, what that is going to do is they're like, okay, if they want a little bit more information, I think a really good example, a great drawing that Joshua drew was this one. So we did this report. Where is it? Right. Okay. So this is another report that we did. And he drew this drawing here, and literally just showed. So like, if they have all the existing, think about it this way: if they have all the existing conditions, and they're like, wow, all the existing conditions, it looks like I can develop and move forward. But then what they don't realize is, we gave them all the specifics about their square footage, their lot, and the existing conditions, but we never put it on a plan to make sure that the setbacks and the potential dwelling would actually work. So right now, this lot right here looks like this one. It's one lot. This lot over here got developed at one time. They want to develop this lot. But we need to verify that all the setback requirements are going to work. So we'll put together a simple drawing like this, just to kind of note and make sure that all of that will work. Kind of have all the information here like Joshua did, and put this together super quick, and it will just be super, super valuable to them to see that this aerial view works. And so that will be included in the existing conditions report with site plan or whatever that I need to put on. $250, 4 days. And I think I actually bumped these prices up to like, I need to change on the website, but I think we're actually going to do like 200 or 199 or something. and then maybe like 300, and then like 650 for this one. I think that would still sell as eye candy. I'm trying to keep this video short. I'm very sorry. Due diligence report. So this is going to be, these were both due diligence reports. So this is going to be a full report. It's going to have all the development details. It's going to have a lot more comprehensive. We're actually going to look into if what they're proposing will work, what our thoughts are about it. We're going to talk about, at a glance, what's going on. We're going to include attachments and all this stuff, and that will all be included. The Okay, so that's going to be the due diligence report. Basically, it's going to be that site plan. It's going to be all the existing conditions, and then we're actually going to evaluate what they want to do, and we're going to tell them on a piece of paper, is that possible or is it not possible? So that's what that is. And again, this video is just giving you guys an overview, so everyone's on the same page about what our services are. Anything outside of what I just explained is upon estimate only. When we're talking about reporting, if someone wants a better report than that and they're willing to pay for it, what we'll essentially do is include some of these extra things. So a feasibility report will be written on the same exact template, but it will include a submission report. So we'll actually take that site plan and submit it to the city and get their opinion on it, and then write their comments in here. We'll go through a financial overview. We'll go through a financial overview, and we'll talk about how much they're paying for the lot, and some of the specifics that way, and make sure that the financial side of it works for them. We'll do a deep dive, and obviously this will take more time, it'll cost more money, we'll get paid more for it, and so on. We'll do a conclusion, and then actually attach the attachments. So the attachments are never included except for the feasibility studies. If they want a totally open-ended, what are all my options? Same form, but more money, basically. So that is those things.